Everything you've always wanted to know about real estate, but didn't know who to ask. I'm your host, Angie Stanley. Today we have a great lineup, starting off with Neil Fjellestad with FBS Property Management, Julie Ozanich with Bank of Manhattan, and Georgia Barnett with Property ID. Hi Neil, how are you today? Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for the invitation, Angie.
No problem. So tell me, what is property management?
Well, property management is actually what makes a business, a standing business, out of a real estate investment. You know, a real estate investment has to be held for a long time in order to be profitable, you know, in terms of appreciation and so forth. So what are you going to do with that property? You need to find out a way to rent it to somebody, and the proper management of that rental, the proper management of the physical aspects of the property, the financial aspects of the property, all of that is part of property management. So it really becomes the backbone of the real estate industry, the part of the industry that does the heavy lifting, that makes all of these things come true that we talk about glibly, that real estate is a great investment and it will do these wonderful things.
Yeah, it sounds pretty intricate. So tell me, how did you get into this?
Well, I'm a local boy. Mm-hmm. I graduated from San Diego State University in accounting, but along that way I became fascinated with investments, I became fascinated with finance, and with real estate. I took all the classes that were offered in those subjects, and also with psychology. I was also minored in psychology. When I came out, I was interested in learning everything that I could learn and being all that I could be in the field of real estate. So I got involved with real estate transactions. My first assignment was as a real estate broker for an investment company that was coming down from Silicon Valley, that was establishing a Southern California headquarters here in San Diego. And so I became enthralled with, I realized right off that I was going to be competing with other agents that were probably 15, 20 years older than I was. And I was going to be talking to investor clients that were 30 years older than I was. So I thought, how could I use my accounting degree? I realized, you know what, so I started specializing in 1031 exchanges, and I realized that in order to make all of the things come to pass that I needed, I also needed to be involved with property management. So I was heavily involved with the transaction side of real estate for a number of years. And then finally, because of my own holdings and the holdings of other clients, what I needed to concentrate on was property management, and so I have been doing that. See, I've been in this business for 45 years.
Yeah,
so
it sounds like you have a lot of experience. So tell me, what makes FBS Property Management different than other property management companies?
I think probably a couple things. First, the depth and the breadth of our understanding, our expertise, and our networks within the real estate management side of the business. We know how to evaluate a property based upon what it can rent for. We know how to get that rented, get that leased up. We know how to collect those rents. We know how to make sure that there's proper reporting and that we meet all the requirements by the IRS, by the Franchise Tax Board, by the other local entities that govern real estate as a business. So, like I say, we take real estate investments that could be good, could be bad, but they got to be held for a long time to find out, to season. And in order to do that, you got to manage it. You got to manage it with precision and with consistency. And that's what FBS does. That's what we live to do. So we do that for independent investors.
Okay.
I don't know if you realize it, but there's about 1.1 million households here in the San Diego region. Well, about half of those, or 500,000 of those, are rental households.
Wow.
Well, most of the real estate industry is all interested in the transactions of buying and selling. Mm-hmm. But who takes care of the people that rent, and who takes care of the people that own those rental properties? Because most of them are small rental properties. About 350,000 of those rental units are actually owned by just individual people. Mm-hmm. And they aren't acquainted with all of the required, the new requirements. Mm-hmm. This is a very legislative and judicial, can be very problematic, because we always hear stories about, the landlord or mm-hmm. the tenant, and we're in the middle of that.
I would assume a lot of those people, they've bought this as an investment property or a second home, and they don't really want to deal with it.
They do not. And they get pushed into it because they think they have to, or they mm-hmm. think that they're saving $1 in order to do that. Mm-hmm. And we would suggest to them that is as ridiculous as trying to run your own escrow. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work. there are requirements. There is a wheelhouse of information, competencies, and skill sets that are required to be exercised on a daily basis. And unlike those, there are some real estate agents that are out there, they'll try to do it on the side when they've got a dip in their earnings. The problem is they don't even have the right skill set. Not that I don't have all the respect for a real estate agent. When I want somebody with drive and personality and all of that sort of stuff, that's great. But the fact of the matter is, property management calls for teamwork, process, systems, all of that sort of thing. We are helped a great deal by technology, but we know which technologies work and benefit us on a daily basis.
Wow. Okay, now as we finish up, 3 tips that you could give someone that maybe is interested in creating residual income with a property that they could use your property management services for.
Well, that's a very relevant issue, especially as we look at the track of the stock market. Will it continue to? Will it be what we need it to be? They're coming up on retirement. Maybe they're 10, 15 years for retirement. What we're saying is, look at this as an alternative. The actual ownership of rental property, not the stock ownership of a real estate investment trust, but the actual rental ownership of a local property, and then turn that over to professionals. Have a team of advisors that can advise you in a variety of the aspects, and we do those advisory services. And we will always use realtors for the actual transaction, but we manage that transaction. And then we manage it after the close of escrow to make sure that all the rest of it is accomplished, so that you can hold that property for the next 10, 15 years, or other properties that you might want to purchase. That's the way that you build wealth and create cash flow in retirement.
I could not agree more, and it's all valuable information. So I want to thank you so much, Neil, for coming on the show today. Coming up, we have Julie Ozanich with Bank of Manhattan.